Led by second-year head coach Brian Harsin, the defending Mountain West champ Boise State Broncos arrive in Fort Collins. And with him, super sophomore back Jeremy McNichols, ready to run over the Rams. But star wide receiver Rashard Hollywood Higgins has a different script in mind as Colorado State looks to upset 25th ranked Boise State for the first time in school history.
Are you ready? I said, well, are you ready?
From the Poudre Valley, Fort Collins, Colorado, college football on CBS Sports Network is presented by Geico. 25th ranked Boise State, 4-0 all-time against Colorado State. The Broncos back in Fort Collins to take on the Rams. With Aaron Taylor, Ginny Dell, I'm Carter Blackburn. Well, Boise State once again has a number next to their name, only one loss on the season, a crazy quarter against BYU. So the question is, how good is this Boise State team?
Well, I think they're pretty good and getting better and seemingly by the week. I think it's easy to say that they're the best in class in the group of 5 teams. When you look at them in all 3 phases, the thing that really stands out to me is how strong they are. Offense, defense, special teams. If Boise wins out, I think it's safe to say that they'll once again be the group of 5 representative with the New Year's Six.
Well, you usually talk about Boise State offense, but this year's Bronco team led by the defense.
Yeah, it's about their defense. And I think it's easy to say that this unit is the strength of this team, and it starts up front. It's a simple recipe, but they do an excellent job against the run, getting penetration, their safety's coming up. And then when teams try to throw, they've got 12 sacks already. They get to the quarterback and make it very difficult to be able to do that. And when those mistakes happens, the defense often makes them pay with points. And finally, they get quarterbacks off their spots, and they've got an extremely active safety unit that has great instincts, that has a knack for getting to the football.
Our Geico difference makers on offense for Boise State, Jeremy McNichols, 12 total touchdowns. That leads the nation, 10 of them rushing, 2 receiving. And the true freshman quarterback, Brett Rippon, who has been outstanding so far. This will be his 3rd start, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Rippon. Meanwhile, for Colorado State, the Rams want to run the football, but when they do throw it, pretty good target, number 82.
Yeah, number 82, Rashard Higgins was an All-American a year ago. He's a tall, lean, smooth route runner with excellent hands and a large catch radius, meaning you throw it anywhere near him, he's going to come down with it. Now, his matchup tonight against a stingy Boise secondary is going to be one of the better ones we've seen in a while.
From Athens, Georgia to Fort Collins, Colorado, Mike Bobo, longtime Georgia offensive coordinator, Bulldog quarterback before that first season in his first head coaching job with Colorado State. Ginny Dell is with Boise State head coach Brian Harsin.
Coach, 3 straight games of 50-plus points. What does this unit need to do to keep operating at a high level?
Eliminate turnovers, and then our defense continue to play well, put us in position where we can have short field to score.
Talking about the defense, they haven't given up a point in over 6 quarters. What's been the key there?
Turnovers. Those guys have played really well, and I think they're playing with confidence. It needs to show up tonight. Colorado State's going to challenge us physically, but we got to respond to that, and if we do that, we'll be in good shape.
Thank you very much, Coach.
A gorgeous and warm October day. 80 degrees as we get set for kickoff after 5 o'clock local time in Fort Collins, Colorado. So, lovely day for the Rams and the Broncos. Boise State wins the toss and defers. So it will be Colorado State football, the 5th meeting between Colorado State and Boise State. Tyler Ross to kick it away for 25th ranked Boise State. The lone loss against BYU. Ross's kickoff. Gaines takes a knee. Colorado State will take it from the 25. Our Chick-fil-A starting lineups begin with the Colorado Colorado State quarterback Nick Stevens, the sophomore from Murrieta, California. Vista Ridge High School, played in 2 state title games, won the first one his junior year. Senior year had a rematch with Centennial High School. They won the rematch. So Stevens, who's had an up and down sophomore season so far.
It's going to be very important tonight for Nick Stevens to protect the football, to administer that football, protect it. But make no mistake about it, if Colorado State's going to win tonight, they have to win at the line of scrimmage and establish the run.
Jason Oden Jr. and a tailback out of the eye. And Oden picks up 4 on his first touch. Take a look at the rest of the Rams starters on offense.
Yeah, communication is crucial for successful offensive line play, so Jake Bennett's job tonight will be to identify the key players for a Broncos defense that uses a lot of fronts and likes to move around.
Finally getting healthy and solidified on the Colorado State offensive line.
That's really going to help them. The last 2 games, they've just really struggled on the ground. That's going to be a very critical factor in tonight's matchup.
Dawkins gets the second down handoff, and not much doing there as Ben Weaver makes the stop. And we check out the Boise State defense.
Well, we know that they're good, and safety Darian Thompson is probably the best defender on the field tonight. He leads a defense that is top 10 in 7 different categories. The Broncos' strength of the team is going to be a big challenge tonight for the Rams.
3rd and 5 against that Boise State defense. Stevens incomplete. Looked like he missed Xavier Williams just a beat behind.
That's the accuracy issues that have plagued Nick Stevens so far this season, only completing 56% of his balls. Williams was wide open, but the ball's behind him. Not the way you want to start this game out, going 3 and out. The Rams need to settle down because this Boise State offense is high-powered.
Hayden Hunt, 6th in the nation, averaging 47 yards a punt. Dante Dion, fair catch, back at the 26. So a 44-yard punt from Hayden Hunt, our Chick-fil-A starting lineup. For the Boise State offense begins with Brett Rippon, the true freshman from Spokane, Washington. One of the most decorated high school quarterbacks in the West. Washington State Player of the Year. Over 13,000 career passing yards, including 4,965 in the Greater Spokane League. That broke his Uncle Mark's Greater Spokane League record. Brett Rippon, screen, McNichols gets his first touch.
Well, if the Rams defense wants to win its matchup, it must limit the run game and harass that quarterback you just talked about, Brett Rippon. So Mario Yaku and company need to get some movement and sustain their blocks when pass setting.
Gain of 4 for McNichols on the screen, so 2nd and 6. Rippon, time to throw. Nowhere downfield, so he dumps it incomplete. Intended for Holden Huff. Martavius Foster applies the pressure. Let's look at the Ram defense.
Well, I think a key for Colorado State tonight will be to affect the quarterback. And senior defensive end Martavius Foster has the ability to do that. That was good pressure that last time, but that was because of good coverage on the back end. Colorado State has to be able to continue to do that to have a chance to keep up with this offense.
Ram defense holding offenses to 26% on 3rd down, but prior to 3rd down, a defensive timeout, not even 2 minutes in.
Timeout, Colorado State. They're first of the half.
Gives us a chance to look at our 3 key questions tonight. The matchup of Rashard Higgins versus that excellent Boise State secondary, number 1.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple NFL players going at it tonight between Rashard Higgins and Darian Thompson. Higgins is so explosive. We talked about him in the open. And how long will the Broncos shutout streak last? 0 points allowed in the last 6 quarters. Colorado State has the ability to score quickly. They need to do that tonight to land some early punches. And can Brett Rippon maintain that hot hand? For a true freshman, he was an early entry, but Carter, he seems to have picked up right where he left off in high school.
Brett Rippon, who is playing because of the injury to Ryan Fenley. Went down in the Idaho State game September 18 with broken bone in his right ankle. They expect that to be an 8-week recovery, meaning into November. Thomas Stewart, the sophomore, played initially, and then a red shirt pulled off a ribbon, and he has been spectacular so far.
Yes, he has.
Ram defense has been solid on third down. Anderson motions out on 3rd and 6. Heavy pressure. Rippin delivers complete. Shane Williams-Rhodes cuts it back to near midfield. What a throw from Rippin to Rhodes.
They brought a double line flanker blitz in his face, and also off that backside edge. He gets hit right as he throws, but because he had room to step up, he delivers the football in time for Williams-Rhodes, makes a guy miss and picks up the first down.
199 career receptions now for Shane Williams-Rhodes. McNichols is going to take it on the read, and he is dropped immediately in the backfield by Kevin Davis, the weak side linebacker.
Great penetration that time by this defense. Look at all the guys stacked near the line of scrimmage. There's going to be tremendous penetration. Anytime you get your hat across the line of scrimmage, it spooks the back. It makes him bounce outside into the waiting arms of the defense. Great start on first down for the Rams.
Williams-Rhodes is going to throw it. He has Spurbeck. Got it inside the 20. Touchdown, Boise State. On the 53-yard trick play, Shane Williams-Rhodes to Thomas Spurbeck. Boise State up to its old tricks.
They do a tremendous job from the box, taking advantage of a defensive backfield that's just trying to respond to a simple bubble screen, but you have to have some discipline with your eyes. That time the Rams defense wasn't, and they give up another big play on that back end.
So Shane Williams-Rhodes, who has 14 career touchdown receptions, now a passing touchdown as Spurbeck walks the tightrope to get the Boise State touchdown, with the field judge running right there with them. Although replay wants to take a little bit longer look at this. So John Hanson, the replay official, is presently gonna let it stand. Tyler Rossa for the PAT. So in game 6 of his senior year, Shane Williams-Rhodes doesn't yet have a touchdown reception on the season, but he's willing to let Thomas Spurbeck take it across the goal line from 53. The special plays, Boise State calls them. This is last week a play that goes back to 2005. Originally, it was Jared Zabransky to Sherm Blaser. A week ago, Rippin the fake fumble, Holden Huff into the end zone. Now tonight, another wrinkle.
It's going to be the same thing. It's the lack of the discipline from the eyes. This is just cover 2 man. Everybody is responding to the bubble screen to Shane Williams-Rhodes, but in cover 2 man, you have to be able to stay with your man and not peek into the backfield. That time, poor discipline led to an early touchdown for the Broncos.
5 plays, 72 yards. It was so close to a 3-and-out. Colorado State had pressure on Rippin. He made a nice throw to Williams-Rhodes, and then Williams-Rhodes makes the nice throw to Spurbeck. Ross's kickoff to Gaines out the back of the end zone, so Colorado State will get it at the 25. No question what Colorado State wants to do offensively. Run it, pound it, establish things, and move on from there. The question is, can they do it against this excellent Boise State defense?
It's going to be extremely hard for them to do that. They're only allowing 52 yards per game and are second in the country. But what that does, they have tight ends, they have fullbacks, they've got big bodies. If they can force Boise State to bring some safeties down to stop that run, that will create some great one-on-one situations with Rashard Higgins, one of the country's best wide receivers.
No one has rushed for 100 yards on Boise State yet. And Stevens is dropped Chancellor James, the nickel, gets the sack on Nick Stevens.
Chancellor James comes unhinged from that second level and just comes straight down off this outside edge, setting the edge. He's the contain. I don't know if that was a run blitz right out of the gate, but it played right into their hands. Colorado State behind the chains early on in first down.
So call it 2nd and 21 after the big sack of Stevens. Going to hand it off. That's Dalen Dawkins. Fumbles the football. Scooped up by Boise State's Tyler Horn. And he takes it to the 11. A terrible start for Colorado State. Allowing a touchdown and now a fumble deep in their own territory.
Turnovers and miscues have been a problem for Colorado State. And here, it's unfortunate because Dalen Dawkins had a nice move. This is just a weak side ISO, and he claps it. He decides to bounce, and it's a good run. But that's that playmaker we talked about, Darian Thompson. Great instincts, great run filler, and he does his job once again and pops that ball out.
+9 now, turnover margin for Boise State, while Colorado State is -10. Handoff, McNichols, not much there. You have one of the nation's best turnover ratios, Boise State, against one of the worst, Colorado State.
Well, there's only a finite amount of opportunities you get to be able to possess the football. So when you give another team more opportunities, particularly one like Boise State that scored 50 or more points in 3 straight games, you're not going to win a lot. And that's certainly what's happened to Colorado State. And it's happening here early again tonight.
Rip it on 2nd and 10. Flushed. Dumps it out of bounds. Boise State in the red zone. You see 27 trips, 17 touchdowns. Now, brought to you by Verizon. So a little bit under where Harsin and the Broncos want to be, but that's a lot of red zone trips.
Yeah, and this is one of the strengths of this Colorado State defense. They lead the Mountain West Conference in red zone touchdown percentage, only allowing people to score 23% of the time. I think it'd be a win here if they force a field goal.
Rip into McNichols. Now the Rams do exactly that. Hold Boise State to maybe a yard. Kevin Davis brings down McNichols to force the field goal chance.
That was a nice answer by the defense of Colorado State. You give a turnover inside the red zone, but you force a high-powered offense like Boise to be able to kick a field goal. It's a small victory, but a place to start. But this Rams offense really has to find a way to get some rhythm going. Once again, they were able to move some things, but shot themselves in the foot with a turnover.
Tyler Rossa from 27. Easily good. 10-0 Boise State. So the Colorado State fumble from Dalen Dawkins ends up in a field goal. Broncos 10-7.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Sometimes stats are just weird. The score is 10-0 Boise State over Colorado State. The Rams have started fast so far this year. Only 10 first quarter points allowed prior to this kickoff. 10 points already on the scoreboard for Boise State, not even 5 minutes in.
Well, we talked with Coach Bobo, and he said one of the things that they need to do is protect the football and not give up big plays. And they haven't done a very good job of that early on in this first quarter.
Dalen Dawkins, who had that fumble, is the one who had the costly interception actually off of his hands overtime in the Minnesota game to basically cost Colorado State that game in overtime. One of 2 overtime losses Colorado State has already suffered this year. Another touchback. Colorado State will get it at the 25. So 10-0 Boise State, and it is a tall task for the Rams against the Boise State defense with all those good numbers.
We talked about it at the top of the show that the strength of this Boise team, for all of the accolades and love that this offense has gotten over the years, the one consistent piece has been the defense, and I don't think it's any different this year.
Coleman Key will take over as Colorado State quarterback on the second drive. The redshirt freshman from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Played well in the Minnesota game. Play action. First shot downfield, incomplete. Intended for Xavier Williams. Locked up with Dante Dion.
Coleman Key's got a much stronger arm than Nick Stevens, so it doesn't surprise me being down 10 that they put him in there. Xavier Williams is one of those players that they expected to step up. That ball was right on the money, and he might have had a gripe. Dante Dion seemed to be in pretty good hip location. Nice inside leverage. Had him stacked up nicely, but brings up a 2nd and 10. Expect run here.
Or pass. Incomplete. Knocked away by Jonathan Moxey, the other corner.
Well, here's the problem if you're Colorado State. You've had trouble establishing the run. You're down 10 early against a high-powered offense. Incomplete, incomplete. Now it's a high throwing situation, a high percentage throwing, and Boise State does a really nice job of getting after the quarterback. We showed you the pressure in the open that they're able to give. Expect some pressure here from Marcel Yates' group.
14 takeaways for the Boise State defense now. They came in 5th best in the nation. On 3rd and 10, protection for Key, nowhere to throw, so he tucks it, scrambles, gets maybe 5. There is a flag down. Tyler Gray with the pressure on Key.
It's likely going to be holding, Carter.
Holding. Offense number 61. That penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
Kevin Mars, our referee. So a 3 and out with Coleman Key at the range for Colorado State as well.
Colorado State, a couple 3 and outs and a turnover inside the red zone. Not the performance you want offensively if you're a Rams fan.
Hayden Hunt punts again. Dante Dion's going to back up to the 22. Dante Dion shaking his way across the 30, across the 40. Dante Dion inside the 30-yard line. Dante Dion inside the 10. But there is a flag down. 58-yard punt, 68-yard return for now.
Thought there might have been a block in the back there, and Raymond Ford looked like he was a little aggressive as well. I won't be surprised if it's not called on him.
Brian Harsin said he had a special feeling about the kick return this week. So we want to score on special teams, not just move field position. And I don't think he's happy about the block in the back.
No, he's not. Especially after a nice return like that.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 18. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down.
To wipe out the return from Dion. 10-0 Boise State. The Broncos and Brett Rippon get the football next.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Boise State has a 10-0 lead, and not every player in the FBS has a Super Bowl MVP in the family. But Boise quarterback Brett Rippon's uncle is Mark Rippon, and I spoke to Mark yesterday, and he told me some advice that he's given to his nephew. He said, first and foremost, maintain good habits. He said Brett has the proper tools to be successful, but consistency is key. He wants him to be an action and reaction type of leader, and stresses the importance of showing toughness, knowing that a team will rally behind you if you show it. Mark believes Boise's biggest problem in the past few years has been the inability to move the ball downfield, and he wants Brett to focus on the vertical game, making those big throws under pressure. And his last piece of advice, don't run the ball too much, saying this family was not blessed with great speed. But guys, look out, because a former Super Bowl MVP claims that Brett is more athletic than he ever was.
But don't run it too much. I like that piece of advice. Just get down. Here's Brett Rippon off play action from inside his own 5. Deep shot. There's the vertical game. And there's a flag in coverage. DeAndre Elliott hooked up with Chaz Anderson downfield and drew the flag. Well, there's the advice. Focus on the vertical game. Rippon down the seam.
I don't know about that call, Carter. Remember, DBs and receivers have equal rights to the football. He looked like he was going for the football to me. I don't think that this was the right call.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Anderson had inside leverage, but it looked like Elliott was going for the football the entire time. It was an overthrown ball. Chaz Anderson had no chance to catch it anyway. When you look at it, you can't really tell who's the receiver on that play. I disagree with this one pretty strongly, especially as he touches the football first.
That's an example of something that's not pass interference. Jeremy McNichols takes it across the 35. Kevin Davis on the stop.
I would expect that we're going to see a lot of this run game get dialed up. Boise State's offensive line's been playing better and better, and McNichols is turning into quite the weapon for these teams.
McNichols, who played mostly receiver as a freshman. Now he's the featured back. Shane Williams-Rhodes back to his usual role of catching the football and picking up the first down. The senior from Spring, Texas, Klein Collins High School. 53-yard touchdown pass. Ripping out of the pistol. Play action to McNichols. Now bring it right back to McNichols, who makes the catch. In the flat, Kevin Davis again on the stop.
What they're doing there is they're running levels. They're giving their quarterback, Brett Rippon, 3 different ways to throw his reads there. Went short, medium, and then underneath finally to McNichols. They're giving him a lot of options, and that's what makes this offense so hard to defend.
2nd and 5. McNichols straight ahead. A huge hole for Jeremy McNichols, and he takes it himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Boise State. All too easy for Jeremy McNichols. 56 yards. His 13th touchdown of the season, the most in the nation.
Talked about that improving offensive line, and my goodness, there were some good blocks on that last play.
Tyler Rossa for the PAT. Well, we come into the night talking about the Bronco defense and all of the amazing numbers that they have been putting up. The offense has something to say about it.
Yeah, take a look right here, blocking up to this next level. This is just beautiful. Look at that natural bubble there. It's almost like they were begging for them to be able to do it, just run right up the middle. Just an incredible block, and that time that's that speed of Jeremy McNichols. He's got that second gear and ability to be able to get downtown, and he just runs away from that defense. He was untouched on that play. And remember, Carter, a week ago, big runs were a problem for this Colorado State team against Utah State.
It has been a big problem the last couple of weeks. They have allowed now 6 rushing touchdowns in the last 9 quarters, including a 56-yard rush for McNichols. So the pass play from Williams-Rhodes to Spurbeck goes 53, and then McNichols takes it 56 himself. He was next to a guy who knows a thing or two about running back, especially at Boise State. Talk about that in a moment. Rossa kicks off from the 35. Another touchback. Colorado State will get it at the 25. So McNichols' former teammate Jay Ajayi, now of the Miami Dolphins. Now he's on the injured list, but Jay Ajayi is actually spending this whole trip with Boise State. He joined up with them in Boise, flew with them down to Fort Collins, and Jay Ajayi, who was fantastic in his Bronco career, on the bench there with McNichols.
I thought early on that this offense missed the power running style of Jay Ajayi. They struggled early on, but McNichols has really caught on fire.
Minus 7 yards on first down so far. Oden bumbles the toss. and gets 2. Coleman Key still in at quarterback for Colorado State. Redshirt freshman, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma High School, where he played for the legendary Steve Spavital. Coleman was actually on his last team in 2013. Steve Spavital's sons, Zach, linebacker coach, Texas Tech. Jake, offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. Play clock at 9.
Late shift that time by Boise State. This is that identification we were talking about.
Give it to Oden again to the 30. So 3rd and 5. Colorado State doesn't yet have a first down.
But I like the strategy to establish the run. When you're out of sorts on offense, the easiest thing to do is to get back to the run game. Yes, you are down 17 points right out of the gate, but when you're struggling to be able to find some success, the run game is a great way to do it.
Play action. Key. Complete. Rashard Higgins has his first catch of the game, and it's the first down for Colorado State.
Really nice protection that time by the offensive line of Colorado State. And this is Rashard Higgins doing a good job against Dante Dion. Look at that separation. He is a very savvy route runner. A little push off there helped him as well.
Oden takes it on first down, stretching to near the 45. So Higgins, who was a Bolitnikoff finalist given to college football's top receiver a year ago, consensus All-American, told us yesterday, this year, I want it. I want that Bolitnikoff. And he is already having to manage a lot of NFL fans tweeting him all day long. Apparently, they're not sure how the draft works, because you don't get to recruit a guy to your team.
Well, they certainly have been trying, which is very hard for somebody of his age to be able to manage all that attention, but he's done a pretty good job of it.
Play fake from Coleman Key. Now he's pressured again by Horn. Key pulls it down across the 50. Key has a first down and falls forward to the 40. A 15-yard scramble slipping away from Horn.
Now Key early on had the check down right there. He had a throw that he could have made, but he pulled it down. But give him credit. He stays on his feet and then shows you those afterburners. Good ball mechanics, switching the ball to the outside hand, and then just stumbles down to stay in bounds, Carter. Except it's not 2 minutes, and they're not trying to run the clock out.
Across the 50 for the first time, Jason Oden Jr., the senior from Buffalo, New York. Had a solid game a couple weeks ago in the win over UTSA. Career high 143 yards in that game.
I like that Colorado State is kind of slowing things down, letting them catch their breath, and more importantly, letting their defense catch their breath. That's been out on the field quite a bit, but since Colorado State has gone to the run, they've had some success moving the football.
Key with an eye backfield. Give it to Oden again. Trying to establish that run. Third down coming up. Offensive coordinator Will Friend said the biggest thing we have to overcome is us. First time they have it, 9th lost fumble for Colorado State.
It's turnovers, it's penalties, it's 3rd and longs, it's a lot of problems. Offense is about rhythm and execution. All 11 have to function together, and they just had too many individual players taking plays off and making mistakes that have cost him.
On 3rd down, Oden stopped about a yard short. So 4th down coming up. Ram offense staying on the field at this point.
And I like this. I think in a game like this where you're trying to get yourself back in it, and because this is a very makeable 4th down situation, I like this play call. I would expect some sort of lead or power run game, if not a sneak.
Pito and Oden in the backfield. Wosu with them as well. Oden keeps it and has just enough to move the chains with a 4th down conversion.
You're Jason Oden. I'd like to see you hit it up in there a little bit harder. He was a little tentative getting to that line of scrimmage. Takes that little stutter step there. When it's 4th and 1, drop your head and move the pile. But to his credit, he picks up the first down. Great play call. They execute it. Now it's a fresh set of downs. You're inside the 30. Colorado State really needs to put something together here and get some points out of this drive.
This is what the Rams had in mind. They just didn't have in mind doing it down 17-0. Oden pushes his way for maybe 2 yards. Kamale Correa and Tyler Gray there on the stop.
Oden is a physical, straight-ahead runner. He's kind of the thunder, if you will. So what Colorado State, Carter's doing is they're up in the box looking at the safeties. Darian Thompson, Cameron Miles for Boise State, trying to see how aggressive those guys are being, because this would be a great opportunity after you establish a run if they're peeking into that backfield to take some shots up top.
11th play of the drive. All but one of the plays on this drive have been rushes. This time it's Izzy Matthews, the rarely used running back, tackled by Dante Dion.
That play looked like it had a chance. There were some natural seams there, but one of the things that Boise State does a really nice job of is falling off blocks and folding back inside and getting ball carriers to the ground.
Deliberate pace for Colorado State at this point.
No question. They're trying to give their defense as much rest as they can and get a new quarterback in Coleman Key settled down. Let him get as long of a look as he can to try and convert this important 3rd down.
Key on 3rd and 7. He's going to scramble again. Sliding, but he looks like he slid short. Half a yard shy as the redshirt freshman, pressured by Tyler Horn, slides short of the sticks.
You got to know where you're at on the field. Coleman Key, to his credit, he should have just taken off. It's wide open. He needs to go there. He's trying to keep his eyes downfield, but he sees that pressure. The sticks and the chains are right there in front of you. Here they're going to go hurry up and try and get it.
Already 1 4th down conversion on the drive. Toss it to Oden. He has the edge, has the first down, and takes Colorado State to the Boise State 11. Weaver finally makes the stop.
Oden's starting to get ahead of steam, and you can tell that as a runner, he's starting to get some mojo and momentum. This plays there, does a good job of cutting back, takes advantage of some over pursuit. That's a big man there now, showing you that he's light and nimble on his feet. This is exactly the start that Colorado State wanted, Carter. You mentioned it. Now they're down here inside the red zone. They have to find a way to get some points, and a touchdown is what they need.
This is what the Rams had in mind for their opening drive. 14th play of the drive. Oden again inside the 10. The converted safety, where he played for his first 2 years with the Rams. Now his 2nd year as the bruising running back. Jason Oden Jr. from Buffalo, New York East High School.
That's a nice pickup on 1st down. The field starts to shrink once you get down here inside the red zone. You look at this Boise State team. They typically do a pretty good job down here.
On 2nd and 7, that's Izzy Matthews. There is a flag down on what would have been the last play of the first quarter. What will be the last play of the first. Now we'll check the flag. The referee, Kevin Maughan.
Illegal formation. Offense, more than 4 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Mike
Correction,
Bobo's
2nd
Rams.
down. There will be 1 untimed down.
Get one more shot before the end of the first quarter.
And another foolish penalty, Carter. These are these miscues. You're down here inside the red zone. This is only the 7th time all season long Boise State has let somebody inside the 20, and you hurt yourself moving it back 5 yards. These are the things that have been a problem for him all year long.
That's amazing. And then only the 7th red zone trip by a Boise State opponent. Key play action to the end zone, left it way high for Xavier Williams, and that is the final play of the first quarter. So Colorado State moving the football in the red zone, but they're down 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Nothing new for Boise State in 2015. There's a 0 for the opponent at the end of the quarter. You have to go back to the second quarter of the Virginia game on September 25 since anyone has scored against Boise State. So 7+ quarters since that score. But as we begin the second quarter, rather, it is third down for Colorado State in Bronco territory at the 13. So it's 3rd and 12. And there's where we point out that Colorado State has had some issues in the kicking game as well. Coleman Key, longest drive of the season for Colorado State, results in the touchdown to Joe Hansley. And the Boise State defense's shutout streak comes to an end on the first play of the second quarter.
What an incredible end to an amazing drive for Colorado State. They converted 2 fourth-down situations. They committed to the run and already have more rush yards in this early second quarter than Boise State has given up on average all season long. Colorado State's commitment to the run game is why they just scored that touchdown.
Wyatt Bryan boots it through on the PAT to cap a 16-play touchdown drive. Coleman Key to Joe Hansley. 0 on the board, no more for the Rams. (17-7) lead now for Boise State on Colorado State. 16 plays, longest of the season for Colorado State. Ends Coleman Key to Joe Hansley. Hansley's 3rd touchdown reception of the year.
Boise State went really conservative here, only rushed 3 players, but look at the opportunity. It's some sort of Tampa 2 look. Here's Hansley. He's going to come in and run a post route here just underneath Tanner Vallejo, and nobody picks him up. One of the rare times we've seen this Boise State defense get conservative, and it cost them there. And credit Colorado State. They got a much-needed touchdown at the end result from the commitment to the run game. That set up that entire drive. I would expect to see more of that from the Rams.
On kickoff formation, and now they fan out at the 30. Braxton Davis will kick it off. First 3 possessions for the Rams, 5 yards. That touchdown drive, 16 plays, 75. Johnson takes a knee. As the calendar is now turned to October, it's officially Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We here at CBS Sports Network honored to be a part of our first college football bowl game, the AutoNation Cure Bowl, presented by Florida Hospital, benefiting the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Mark your calendars, December 19, 7 p.m., only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And the Colorado State fans responding this week to the pink out and the pink ribbon. This is what Boise State wore last weekend, their game against Hawaii. Pink solidarity all around here in October. On 1st and 10, McNichols, there is a flag down to the 45. McNichols picks up 20, but we'll check the flag.
On a front door play like that with a backside flag, you'd think chop block.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Travis Averill, the left guard. Young man missed the first 2 games of the season. The first was due to a suspension. The second was a demotion. He's just going to get the linebacker there, grabs him, gets inside, and pulls him down over the top. The officials were right on top of it. Now it's Boise's turn to shoot themselves in the foot on first down there.
An almost perfect start for Boise State. A 17-7 lead. Now Rippon delivers at Spurbeck. First down and more. Thomas Spurbeck may take this the distance. Second touchdown of the game for Spurbeck. 85 yards. Rippin to Thomas Spurbeck.
Those two have had quite the connection. Spurbeck has become a deep threat with Brett Rippin under center. Those two just seem to be in sync. Great protection that time up front off the play action. Gets the linebackers out of there. The safety, Kevin Pierre-Louis, overruns it, and nobody's there, and it's to the house for number 82.
Spurbeck has become the deep threat for Boise State. So now in the game, 2 catches, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The first one was from Shane Williams-Rhodes. Now the more traditional QB to wide receiver. Rippin to Spurbeck for 85. Broncos rolling again. (24-7) Boise State on Colorado State, tied for the 7th longest touchdown in Boise State history.
Well, keep your eye right here. This is Nick Januska. He's going to get himself out of the play right before it starts, and that's going to be able to open it up for Thomas Spurbeck just to be able to run a quick slant. And then Kevin Pierre-Louis comes over, he overruns it, and then it's off to the races. The question, Carter, is where's Trent Matthews? Januska is that backup safety, and he was out of position on that last play, and that allowed the touchdown to happen.
And for more on that, here's Jenny Dell.
Yeah, Aaron, you just mentioned Trent Matthews. He was out here on the sideline talking to the trainers. He was getting loose on the bike, but I'm told by public relations that he's fine, but he hasn't been out on the field since he's been talking to those trainers, so definitely something to keep an eye on.
Thank you, Jenny. That's a big one. He had a career-high 12 tackles last week versus Utah State. And after another Boise State touchdown, touchback. Rams get it from the 25. Gaines lets it bounce. Well, Aaron, you know, just when you think Colorado State's turned a corner, they're down 17-0 before they have their first down. They put together exactly the drive they wanted. 16 plays, pounding it on the ground, getting in the end zone against a tough Boise State defense. And the Broncos respond big time.
The margin for error for Colorado State is so small, and then you have a backup there that overruns the play, gets himself out of position. And it's simply big plays. That's been something that's plagued this defense all season long, and it's hurting them here tonight.
Coleman Key back at quarterback, zips it incomplete on first down. Intended for Stephen Walker, the senior tight end.
Now, I know you're down again, but that whole last drive started out with the run game. You come out and you throw on first down, maybe that's a good tendency breaker. But now you're behind the chains, so to speak. You haven't had as much success throwing the football as you'd like. 2nd and 10 after an incompletion is a high rundown. Let's see what the Rams do here.
Keys 2 for 6. Nick Stevens was 0 for 1. That pass batted away, so the Ram quarterbacks are now a combined 2 for 8.
Looks
Tyler
like
Gray knocks it away.
Colorado State coming out with their quick game early on, trying to get the football out. And I think they can take a little bit more time. This offensive line for Colorado State has done a pretty good job giving protection when it's been needed, and that's allowed them to push the ball down the field. But now here you are in a 3rd and long situation. Remember, on that touchdown, Boise was conservative. Let's see what they do here. My guess is they'll apply a little pressure.
Rashard Higgins is at the top of your screen on 3rd and 10.
Watch here.
Weaver picked up. Key goes the other way. It's incomplete. Xavier Williams covered up by Jonathan Moxey. So after the 16-play touchdown drive, Colorado State back to a 3-and-out. All 3 passes.
Don't abandon the run game. I know the scoreboard isn't in your favor, but the only reason Colorado State was able to score that touchdown was because they established the run. And then they get away from it, putting their defense right back on the field with such a high-powered, explosive offense. I didn't like that last series of play calling for the Rams.
Aiden Hunt hits it at the 18. Dante Dion has to back up at the 25. Dion is dropped as soon as he grabs it. That's Schlager, who makes a great special teams tackle. Good note from Chad Crippy, Bronco beat writer for Boise State, says since Rippin has taken over at quarterback, Spurbeck now averaging 28 yards a catch. First one was from William Rhodes, then this one back from Rippin.
Oftentimes when there's a new quarterback, he gets some chemistry with one of the receivers, and it happens to be Thomas Spurbeck. Number 82 couldn't be any happier. He's turned into a deep threat. Look at that, Carter. 2 catches tonight for 138 yards.
Fiesta Bowl-esque. He had 199 receiving yards. Was the offensive MVP of that Fiesta Bowl win over Arizona. James makes the stop on Jeremy McNichols. Brett Rippon, the true freshman from Spokane, Washington, now 7 touchdown passes, 0 INTs.
Protecting the football is the #1 thing for a quarterback, but I've been impressed with the way he's got a handle on this offense. Credit his preparation and maybe his bloodlines as well.
McNichols out of the backfield on 2nd and 6. Room to run, first down with a nice block from Chaz Anderson. There is a flag down.
Might be a late hit there. And that's a perfect example of Rippon making great decisions. That was about his 3rd or 4th read. It was a check down out of the backfield. Nice patience and delivering the football with location to allow McNichols to run after the catch.
24 yards. Appears to be coming back. Kevin Marr's crew sorting it out.
Holding. Offense number 6. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, it pointed out Chaz Anderson's good block. Maybe it was a little bit too good.
That's one of the things I've been impressed with this Boise offense. Their receivers are like linemen, man. When they don't have the ball in their hands, they do an excellent job of trying to block. You see him spin there. Does a good job of getting his hands inside, and that right there, you see that hand pulling on that jersey. If he just extends his arm, he would have been fine. That's just poor technique that time by 6.
Devin Demas, the junior from Houston, sprinting across midfield for Boise State. DeAndre Elliott makes the stop.
Really nice job of that offensive line that time on the left side of capturing the edge. Martravius Falster, the guy we highlighted in the open, got hooked, and with no contain, it was off to the races.
Brett Rippon and the Broncos go hurry up. Demas again wrestled down as soon as he grabs it by Josh Lovingood. Multiple flags down.
Illegal substitutions. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's one of the byproducts, or one of the challenges also of facing an offense like this that runs at tempo. You scramble to try and match personnel. Boise does it so efficiently, and that time Colorado State just got caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
Out of the pistol. Williams Rhodes in motion. He'll take it. That's a completed pass to Williams Rhodes near another Boise State first down. Maybe a yard shy. Credit Kevin Davis, who already has 6 tackles for Colorado State.
What I'm noticing Boise do is they attack the middle on first down, and then they start attacking the edges with the run game. That's going to spread out Colorado State. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back up inside between the tackles here on second down. Especially second and short.
2nd and 1. Pressure coming. Williams Rhodes makes the grab. Has the first down easily. Spinning inside the 25. Trent Matthews still on the Colorado State sideline. The senior, again, a career-high 12 tackles last week.
Look at all the players for Colorado State loaded inside that box.
Demas takes the toss, and he is wrestled down for a loss. Open field tackle from Nick Januska, and gave up the touchdown in there at Trent Matthews' strong safety position.
That's a heck of a play from the safety, because it looked like they had this blocked up. There's a convoy out in front, but Januska just comes underneath, keeps leverage, gets his head across the bow, drives his legs, and gets the ball carrier to the ground. Textbook.
2nd and 11. McNichols, he's dropped. Not quite yet. Now, finally, McNichols is finished off in the backfield. Lovingood leads the way, and he and Trey Thomas finally bring down McNichols. That's back-to-back tackles for loss.
Really nice series that time by Colorado State, getting pressure up the field. They were trying to get outside, but the defensive line just getting across. Terry Jackson was the first one there, and that set down the dominoes. Here's a big 3rd down. They won on 1st and 2nd, but if Colorado State really needs to make a play here, they got to find a way to get themselves off the field and force the field goal here on 3rd down.
Rippon has completed 7 straight passes. On 3rd and long, he will take the sack. Corey James drops Brett Rippon. 3 straight tackles for loss. The last a sack from James.
Corey James moved to middle linebacker, but in the nickel situation, they put him down on the line. He had a tremendous ability to rush the passer. Here he is right here. He times the snap almost perfectly, so he's got a full head of steam when the ball gets snapped. Makes it very hard for Reese Adiambo, who's a very good left tackle, to be able to block somebody that's moving when the ball snapped.
So Tyler Rossa on for what will be a 55-yard field goal attempt. Had a 51-yarder at Virginia. Rossa from 55 yards, and it is no good. So the Colorado State defense gets a stop. 3 straight tackles for loss forces the 55-yard attempt. Rossa misses just his 2nd field goal attempt of the season. But it is still Broncos in charge in Fort Collins, 24-7 on the Rams.
That opportunity was something that I'm really grateful for, and you know, was able to really prepare, test some things, and I was able to learn a lot from a great place, and in a place that's going to be really successful in the future.
Jim McElwain's early success at Florida has him as a Coach of the Year candidate. Dabo Swinney and Clemson had Georgia Tech fans feeling
a little lugubrious. But I tell you whose fan base isn't lugubrious, and that's Jim Harbaugh's. What an impressive win that they had today. 3 straight shutouts. First time that's happened since 1995 with their victory today over Northwestern. What an immediate impact that all of those coaches have had, but particularly McElwain and Jim Harbaugh.
Rolling into Wolverines versus Spartans.
Ooh, it's going to be a good one. Sparty's pretty banged up.
That's Deontay Gaines who takes the 1st down carry. There is a flag down. Looks like it's on Joe Martirano.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 7, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
In the football game, they call those foolish penalties. Here's an offense that you've done a pretty good job of D'ing up. Just a simple push in the back after he's 3 or 4 steps out of bounds. Tacks on a nice 15-yard gain to a pretty impressive run.
Martirano remains on the field. Coleman Key again quarterbacking Colorado State. That's a 23-yard play effectively. 8-yard run, 15-yard penalty.
Colorado State audibling.
Play clock was winding down.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Carter, they made a kill call right before that to try and change the play because they didn't like the look that Boise State was in, but they lost track of where the play clock was. And because of that miscommunication, they gave 5 of those 15 yards back that they just gained.
12 penalties a week ago. Already 4 for Colorado State, 8 in the game. Reverse. This is Vaden. Slipping away, Vaden finds the corner again and has a 1st down on the reverse. Jordan Vaden, the junior from Henderson.
Nice play call, taking advantage of an over-pursuing defense that got out of its run lanes. Keep your eye on Coleman Key, the quarterback. He gets a key block right there that springs him, that allows Vaden to be able to get the angle. He cuts up inside, and some poor tackling by Boise State ends up with a first down for the guys in green. Nice open field running there by 11.
Key back under center from the Boise State 28. Play action, downfield, incomplete. Intended for Joe Hansley. Darian Thompson, the outstanding safety in coverage.
Really tight coverage that time that was bracketed. Darian Thompson all over the field. He's a really impressive player. I think certainly has the ability to play on the next level. One of the things that coaches told us he needed to work on in the offseason was his ability to be able to stop the run, and he's done a marvelous job of that so far this early season.
Saw Rashard Higgins kind of limping towards the sideline. He has only one catch in the game. Dalen Dawkins incomplete. So Rashard Higgins has not been a factor for Colorado State. Has his helmet off again. This is 2 plays ago for Rashard Higgins.
Well, remember, he's been nursing an ankle injury, still been sore a little bit, but he has no separation. You see Dante Dion great in coverage. Higgins historically has played pretty well against Boise State. He's averaged more than 100 yards in their last 2 games, but have been extremely quiet here tonight. We talked about that being one of the matchups. Well, so far, Boise State's winning that one.
Not out there for 3rd down. Coleman Key has missed his last 5 passes. 3rd and long, deep shot from Key to the end zone for Williams. Knocked away and intercepted in the end zone by Jonathan Moxey. The 12th interception for the Boise State defense. That is the most in the nation. Moxey makes a spectacular play in the end zone.
Jonathan Moxey, coaches told us he's playing his best football. Almost had a pick 6 a week ago. They said that they wanted him to start finishing plays. He gives up 6 inches to Xavier Williams, but just goes up, high points the football. Look at the concentration, never takes his eyes off. Pretty lucky bounce right into his arms, but he gives himself a chance with his eyes, and by initially fighting the much taller Williams for that football.
The only other interception that Coleman Key had thrown was the Dalen Dawkins bobble in overtime against Minnesota. So that's just the 2nd INT thrown by Key, and a spectacular pick from Jonathan Moxey. Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, join CBS Sports Network. Fresh perspectives from some of the most exceptional women in sports as they discuss all that's happening both on and off the field. We need to talk right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Ginny Dell from Fort Collins, Colorado. Brett Rippon to Spurbeck again. And Rippon to Spurbeck connection off the interception from Moxey. +2 tonight. So now Boise State +10 turnover margin on the season.
I think that's the most important stat in football. When you can protect the football and give yourself some extra opportunities with takeaways, you're going to win a lot of games. And Boise State has certainly done that since they turned it around early on in the season.
Low snap, Rippon handles it. Now he's going to tuck it, get a block from Adiambo, and Rippon makes it into a positive play. All of the numbers are amazing for Boise State as far as takeaway versus turnover.
After a bad snap, there's just nobody there. Colorado State's making it too easy. There's nobody in pursuit. That last play, quick slant to Spurbeck off of play action. The backers overcommit. They're making it too easy for Boise to get chunk yardage. They need to play a little tighter.
Rippon to Spurbeck, first down, slipping his way to the 41. Thomas Spurbeck. This is the guy who emerged last year when Matt Miller, Boise State's all-time leading receiver, went down.
And that time he's just running a quick out. Colorado State tried to bring some edge pressure off the slot, and that was what the result was for the soft coverage. But that soft coverage, again, by Colorado State is costing them.
4 catches for Spurbeck, already 170 receiving yards in the game.
Much tighter coverage that time, playing man underneath. And lo and behold, it forced an interception. It's been a good adjustment there by Colorado State. 2nd and 10. See what they dial up here. McNichols in the backfield. He's got some pretty dang active legs.
First incompletion out of the last 10 for Rippon. 2nd and 10 downfield. Now it's back-to-back incompletions for Rippon. That one intended for Holden Huff, the tight end who caught the TD pass, fake fumble play last week. Holden Huff, Brian Harsin said he's been coming to him the last few weeks saying, hey, when do I get a cool play? 5th-year senior, can we put something in for me? So, all right, fine, we're going to go back to the Boise State playbook from 05. Bring that fumble play back in. They also ran in 08, Jared Zabransky. So it's been around the Brian Harsin Boise State offensive playbook for a while.
Please put 6:55 on the game clock, please. Thank you.
So 3rd and 10 after the back-to-back incompletions from Brett Rippon. Broncos against Tyson Summers, Colorado State defense.
Middle of the field's open.
Rippon going to come back to his check down. McNichols had to throw it a long way to find the check down, and then McNichols picks up 9, appears to be just short. Jake Schlager again on the stop.
If I'm Boise, I go for this, but this is what I'm talking about. Watch Rippon's eyes. He's scanning the field, staying active, nobody there. Just turn and hit your check down. That is the next level and very impressive for a true freshman quarterback.
Came in ready. The big shift of 3 tight ends for 4th and 1. Before 4th down, timeout for Boise State.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Boise State. Their first of the half, 30-second timeout.
Brian Harsin saw something he didn't like. Well, there's 7 on the board for Colorado State. The Boise State defense shutout streak is over, but it's still been solid for the Broncos.
Putting their hats on the football, causing turnovers, getting after the quarterback, either beating one-on-ones or with scheme, getting their hands on football. And then, man, what a play that time by Jonathan Moxley. Had great inside leverage, goes up high, points that football, and beats out the much taller Xavier Williams for the interception. 12 picks so far this season, led by Darian Thompson. This is one of the better secondaries in the country.
Darian Thompson, who became a father this week, daughter Nova. And Darian leading that Boise State secondary, the 5th-year senior from Lancaster, California. Already earned his degree.
Be interesting to see what Boise comes back with here.
4th and 1 out of the timeout. Toss. McNichols stood up. Second effort doesn't get there, and Colorado State stops the Broncos on 4th down.
You got to be aggressive on 4th down. Kevin Pierre-Louis doing what you should do as a safety. Here he is here. He's just going to come down. Nobody accounts for him because he starts up line back, but he walks towards the line of scrimmage and just comes free, sets the edge, gets his ankles or his hands around the ankles of McNichols, and that penetration forces him back to the backside pursuit. Another great stop and turnover in this case for that Rams defense.
His brother Wandy, a cornerback on Urban Meyer's 2 national championship teams at Florida. Urban Meyer, a former Colorado State assistant. That pass complete. Hansley wants to go downfield inside the 35. So officially a lateral to Hansley, allowing him to go downfield to Kevon Cartwright as Colorado State breaks out the trick for 34 yards.
Well, this is what Boise did to him early. Again, as a safety, you have to have eye discipline. Colorado State gets them one there.
Hurry up. Oden takes the handoff on 1st down for no gain.
After a big play, sorry about that, buddy. It's a nice response that time by Boise's defense after giving up a big play to get a stop and a lost yardage play. on the next snap.
34 yards, Hansley to Cartwright. Bowman Key out there at quarterback. He's been the Rams QB since Nick Stevens' opening drive was a 3-and-out. Key to throw. Higgins has it. Rashard Higgins, his second catch, will take it to the 11.
Carter, we were just wondering where Rashard Higgins was. At the top of the show, we talked about he's a tall, smooth, savvy route runner, but the thing that's impressive about him is his hands and his catch radius. Look at him go up and snag that ball out of the midair with those soft mitts. He's a heck of a player.
Call it 1st and goal, fumble, Key gets on top.
See the frustration there by Key. That's his center quarterback exchange. They're trying to run some tempo there. Just loses control and luckily falls on it. But how many times have we seen tonight Colorado State do something extremely impressive only to come back and have a miscue on the next snap?
Armand Nance will get credit with a sack. 2nd and goal. Handoff to Oden. Fighting his way out of the tackle from Armand Nance. Get inside the 6. Miles and Nance finally finish it off.
Oden is running hard tonight, but he's keeping those legs going. He's a patient runner. But you have to credit this Colorado State offensive line. They're maintaining their blocks and sustaining them through contact against a pretty feisty defensive line for the Broncos.
3rd and goal. Oden met at the 3 by Darian Thompson. So now it's 4th and goal for Colorado State. Down 24-7. 3:40 to go in the second quarter.
We know that Boise State can go fast, but if you kick the field goal, you're only down by 2 touchdowns. It's a 14-point game. Given everything that's gone on tonight, I like this call and decision to kick the field goal.
Mike Bobo talking earlier about whether to go for 2 in the fourth quarter. He said, typically philosophy is until you get to the 4th, take the points. Maybe that plays in here as well.
Been a lot of controversy about the management of the clock and 2-point conversions throughout this season.
Wyatt Bryan's 20-yarder is good. So 3 on the board for Bobo's Rams. A 24-10 game.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. It's 24-10 Boise State. And in the spring, Rams head coach Mike Bobo had his former college teammate come and give the team a little pep talk. Now, it was just 20 years ago that he was slinging touchdown passes to Hines Ward at the University of Georgia. Yep, that's right. The former Steelers Pro Bowler told the team hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. In a room of 200, Ward was looking for one particular player, asking, is Rashard here? Higgins bashfully raised his hand, and the NFL veteran stated, I'm expecting big things from you this season. Guys, the two then had a private conversation. Higgins told me his main takeaways from that exchange were to maintain focus, distract noise, and always stay humble.
What do you think of the advice from Hines Ward to Rashard Higgins, who's going to be an NFL wide receiver at some point?
I think it's pretty good and pretty spot on. I think a lot of times kids get away with talent on the collegiate level. When they get to the NFL, they think that that's going to be good enough to be able to carry them over. And when they do that, they are very sadly mistaken.
Lightly recruited Rashard Higgins out of Mesquite High School in the Dallas area. Well, Johnson lets that one bounce, so Boise State will get it at the 25. In fact, Rashard Higgins said, yeah, it was all the guys from West Mesquite who got the recruiting love. Guys like Javon Boykin and Elridge Mashington. So TCU, Texas, Rashard says he heard nothing. So when Colorado State offered, he said, all I knew about Colorado was it was cold. But they offered, he accepted, and it has worked out. First for Jim McElwain, and now for Mike Bobo. And Rashard is a man who likes the high top and a high mountain peak now.
I was a big Kid and Play fan back in the day.
Motion, another flag.
It's going to be offsides.
Offside. defense, number 93. He was in the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Terry Jackson lined up right over the ball. Just can't afford to do it. Here he is right here. He moves. When the center, Marcus Henry, moves his head up, he moves off that instead of the football.
5 penalties already for the Rams after 12 a week ago. McNichols on 1st and short, stopped by Martavius Foster after a gain of 2.
You're Boise State. You have 2 timeouts. You've got an explosive offense. You've been able to hit some big plays. You have the opportunity with just under 3 minutes to be able to take some time, run your offense, don't get greedy, set some things up, and eventually take some shots, which they might do here on 2nd and short.
Already 4 plays of over 20 yards for the Broncos offense, led by the freshman QB Brett Rippon. Complete to Anderson. Little juggle, but he hauls it in at the 42 for a first down.
Really impressed with Rippon's ability to scan the field. That was his 4th read on that one, Carter. His eyes are amazing. He's patient for a true freshman. Granted, he was an early entry, which means he showed up in the spring. He's got a masterful understanding of this offense.
First true freshman to play quarterback for the Broncos since Tony Hildy, 93. That was for Pokey Allen's Broncos team that went 3-8. So better debut for Brett Rippon.
Typically in a 2-minute situation, the goal is to pick up first downs and stop the clock. So you'll see them work the edges a lot until something opens up in the middle. Right here, the middle of the field's wide open.
Batted at the line, almost picked. Nearly the first interception for Rippon. Lovingood got his hands on it.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to go for Spurbeck, trying to come underneath. But for a D lineman, if you can't get a pass rush, get your hands up. And that time he did a really nice job. Did Lovingood. Colorado State's been pretty good here on 3rd down, getting the ball back.
Batted again, incomplete. Back-to-back passes knocked down. It's Joe Kowalik, the 5th-year senior from the Kowalik football family.
Joe Kowalik plays that buck position. Just does a good job of reading the eyes of the quarterback, getting his left hand up there. He's 6'6", 250 pounds, and he used all those, was it 78 inches, to block that pass.
The 4th Kowalik brother to play Division I FBS football.
Carter, this is a heck of an opportunity for this Colorado State team. 2 minutes left. They've got 2 timeouts and one of the better receivers in the country. This could be a heck of a turn of events if the Rams can get something going here offensively late in the 2nd quarter.
Fair caught by Hansley. He's upset with himself. Well, we're coming up on the Verizon halftime report. We'll send you back to New York for a full update on the day's activities, including that big one in Dallas and the update on the injury to Nick Chubb, Georgia running back.
Somewhere Brian Jones is smiling mighty big.
Oh, I think so.
That was a heck of a win for Charlie Strong. I mean, that's his signature win, and it couldn't come in a bigger game against a better team. That program needed that, just like Colorado State does this drive here.
1st and 10, screen. Dawkins blown up immediately. Dante Dion pops Dawkins after a gain of 1.
Yeah, running a screen, if you're expecting pressure on 1st down, maybe you do. But that cost you 20 seconds already, and you only gained a half a yard. That's not the way you want to start out this drive. They've got to be able to take a shot and stop the clock here on 2nd down.
2nd and 9, pressure off the edge. Dawkins runs away from it. Chancellor James ends up making the stop. 3rd and short for the Rams.
It's a curious play call to go up inside there. Because if you don't pick up this 1st down and it's 3rd and short, it's going tick, tick, tick. Colorado State's wasting a lot of time trying to get the right play in here. It's almost like they don't sense what this situation here. This isn't very good clock management unless Colorado State's trying to run this clock out and go into the locker room down by 2 touchdowns. But remember, Boise State gets the ball back at halftime, so I think the Rams need to try to score here.
Instead, 3rd and short. Coleman Key downfield, knocked away Incomplete, intended for Hansley in heavy coverage. Now the clock stops at 41 seconds. The Rams will have to punt.
It's almost like they were trying to bleed the clock, figuring that they weren't going to get the first down to limit Boise State offensively. But my goodness, Boise State's got 2 touchdowns in 41 seconds. They're going to have the ball at midfield. 2 timeouts, excuse me, and they're going to have the ball at midfield. That was very poorly managed series that time by the Rams.
And that will be kick-catch interference, and that's scary for Dante Dion as he is banged. Going back for the punt return. Schlager runs into Dante Dion, and that's scary for the talented senior corner. He missed last year's game against Colorado State because of injury. Flag is kick-catch interference.
There is no foul for kick-catching interference. Number 8 was blocked into the return man. First down, Boise State.
So going to say that Ford blocked Schlager into Dion and therefore wipe out the penalty.
Yeah, it would have been a block in the back. But I tell you what, keep your eye right there by number 25 hitting Schlager. Didn't seem like it was a very aggressive block in the back, but certainly seemed to influence Hate's ability to throttle down. And that could be a very, very costly injury to this experienced and talented defensive backfield. But Dante Dion walking off under his own power. Sometimes those things are more scary than they are painful, Carter. I've been there.
Like what Harsin said when you asked him about Dion and Darian Thompson, he said they're football dudes.
They're dudes, man.
33 seconds, 2 timeouts for Brett Rippon and the Bronco offense to work with. From their 33. Rippon complete. That's Nichols. May have been a lateral officially, but McNichols out of bounds at 39.
It's a great play. You pick up some positive yardage and you stop the clock. And once again, the experience of Rippon going through his read progressions, finding the check down. That's been there all night long, and they're continuing to take advantage of it.
Only 6 seconds off the clock. Rippon going to deliver to Spurbeck near the sideline, and he manages to get out of bounds. 19 seconds. Preston Hodges in coverage.
And Hodges that time was trying to be able to cause a fumble and rip the ball away, but in that process, he didn't wrap him and get him down to the ground. And that allowed them to be able to stop the clock. Rouse is a pretty good kicker with a pretty good leg.
Missed a 55-yarder earlier. Hit from 51 at Virginia. Obviously playing at elevation here in Colorado. Rippon time to throw, intended for Spurbeck over the middle, and missed him with DeAndre Elliott in coverage.
That cost him about 5 seconds. They're going to have to pick some yardage up here. They've got 2, maybe 3 plays left that they can be able to get off. So they've got to take a deep shot here. They've got 2 timeouts, so that means that the entire field's open. They've been working the edges masterfully, but the middle of this field has also been pay dirt for them. Look for a quick slant here in between those wide safeties.
Pressure from the Rams. Rippon hit as he throws downfield. It's caught by Anderson, who tiptoes out of bounds inside the 20 with 8 seconds before the half.
Poise is what you do under pressure and duress. That was a beautiful ball delivered by Rippon. He also had the slant by Shane Williams-Rhodes underneath, but he saw that Anderson had a couple steps on Hodges, puts the ball on the money. I said that they needed to get chunk yardage. That's the exact play they needed.
35 yards, so 2 timeouts, 8 seconds.
Colorado State leads the Mountain West in red zone defense touchdown percentage.
Rippon scrambling away, just throws it out of bounds. 2 seconds showing. So with pressure, he just gets rid of it out of bounds immediately.
Another heads-up play by the true freshman. If it's not there, don't try to make something happen. throw it away, stop the clock, and get your kicking game onto the field. That was a masterful drive by the true freshman.
Boise State manages it splendidly at the end of the half to allow for the attempt from 35 for Rasa. 35 is easily good. 3 more on the board for Boise State. Brian Harson's Broncos will take a 27-10 lead to the halftime locker room, including the 3 at the end of the half on that perfectly managed drive.
And they'll get the ball back at halftime.
27-10, Broncos on the Rams. Jenny Dell is with Brian Harsin.
Coach, before the game, you said you wanted to compete and complete every play. Early lead, maintaining it throughout, but what does this team need to do better?
Those things, we got to continue that. We've had some turnovers. We haven't taken advantage of those with touchdowns yet, but our defense is getting challenged. They've stepped up to it. We got to swell up in the red zone, and then we've got to continue to keep getting plays in the run game on the offensive side.
The team has been getting challenged, but able to really suppress Rashard Higgins. What do you see from your defense there?
Well, they know who he is. They're competing with him. They're doing a great job of that. And, you know, when we get a chance to get some pressure, I think the guys are making the quarterback move a little bit.
Any quick update on Dante Diem? We saw him go down at the end of the half.
I don't know. He looked like he was okay coming off there. He's a competitor, so we'll go check on him now, but I'm sure he'll be back and ready to go.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Brian Harson's Broncos lead it on the road in Fort Collins 27-10. After the break, we'll send you to the Verizon Halftime Report with Brent Stover, Christian Fourier. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Fifth-ranked Boise State a 27-10 lead on the Colorado State Rams at the half. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell from Fort Collins. If go big is the theme, that's exactly what Boise State did with some big plays.
Colorado State was doing pretty good on third down, but what hurt them were big plays over the top. They've got to find a way to be able to do that, and they got to get back to running the ball. I know that they're down, but their best offense and their only touchdown came when they committed to the run.
Almost half of Boise State's offense came on the big plays. 194 yards just on these 3 plays.
And it started with that pass by Shane Williams-Rowe to Spurbeck, a 53-yarder double pass early on in the first quarter. And then it was just Jeremy McNichols with a 56-yard run. And keep your eye on number 16, the safety, Trent Matthews, pulls up there late, grabbing his hamstring. That's probably when he got hurt and left the game. And then it was Spurbeck again for the 85-yard touchdown due to the soft coverage by Colorado State. I think the Rams have no choice but to get aggressive here in the second half.
Let's take a look at the halftime numbers. 5 plays, 20-plus for Boise State. Well, overall, 10 yards a play.
It's unbelievable what they're doing, and it's coming in those chunk yardage. Colorado State has to get disciplined with their eyes, play a little bit more aggressive, and don't get beat over their head. This is a high-powered offense, but they're making it easy for the Broncos.
27-10, Boise State on Colorado State. College football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. 5th all-time meeting between Colorado State and Boise State. The Broncos have won them all. Kick out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team. Colorado State. Correction, Boise State has elected the option to take the ball at the 35-yard line, first down.
And we check with Jenny Dell.
Hey guys, I just spoke with Coach Bobo. He said the biggest thing they need to focus on is limiting those big plays defensively for the other team. He also said they need to worry about themselves, not Boise State. They can't get impatient or this game will get out of hand. And Aaron, you just mentioned safety Trent Matthews. Well, it is a hamstring injury, and he will probably not be back in the game tonight.
That's a big loss. First down handoff goes to Jeremy McNichols.
Yeah, there's Trent Matthews right there. And remember his backup, Nick Januska, is who got beat by being out of position with that 85-yard touchdown pass to Spurbeck. He's a heck of a player. Big body back there and been really helpful in run support this year. He's going to be missed in the second half.
2nd and 9, play action. Rippon intercepted. The first pick that he has thrown as a Boise State quarterback, and it's Nick Januska who's in there because of the injury to Trent Matthews.
Nick Januska sank on this pass. Brett Rippon was just determined to be able to throw the football where he was. Nick Januska just sinks on it. He doesn't see him. He widens and just throws it right to him in the perfect position. That's a huge turnover for Colorado State. Way to flip the field early on in this second half. That's exactly what they needed.
First turnover for Boise State in 4 games. Back to the BYU game, the only loss. Just the 3rd interception of the year for the Ram defense. 1st and 10. Coleman Key at quarterback, handing off to Gaines. And Deontay Gaines takes it to the 32.
Some nice blocks on the outside. Gaines was very patient. Let his blocks get set up and get established. But the right side of that offensive line and receivers did a nice job on the perimeter.
Coleman Key played the 2nd series and has gone the distance in relief of Nick Stevens. So it was a 3-and-out from Nick Stevens, the starting quarterback of Colorado State. Now Coleman Key in there with the Rams as Rippon takes some coaching from the former Bronco quarterback, Brian Harsin.
And a lot of times after a sudden change situation,
Oden gets the first.
You want to take some deep shots down the field, but we talked about it at halftime. Colorado State needs to worry about who they are. Well, who they are is a power downhill running team. That 16-play drive that they had, which was their only touchdown of the game, came because they were committed to running the football, and that's exactly what they're doing here early in the second half. And a touchdown here would make this a 10-point game and be a heck of a way to start this second half and get them back in it.
Oden carried the football 10 times on that touchdown drive. 6 carries otherwise, make it 7 as he gets it on 1st and 10. Nothing much there. Well, already Colorado State has rushed for more yards against the Boise State defense than any other opponents, and we're just past halftime.
Well, we talked about the injuries they had along the offensive line with Zach Goldich, Fred Zerbelis. Kevon Cartwright was banged up nursing a injury. They had a lot of injuries at key positions along that offensive line, and the run game just went away for the last 2 weeks. Well, man, this was a heck of a week for them to be able to get healthy and start dialing it back up.
Out of the eye, play action. Coleman Key intercepted inside the 5. Darian Thompson gets it right back for Boise State, and he's leveled at the 25. Thompson's 4th pick of the season, 18th of his career. Coleman Key had thrown only 1 INT all year until he met the Boise State Broncos. 2 takeaways through the air from Boise State.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. By Verizon. Watch live, local, and primetime games on NFL Mobile included, only on Verizon. And by Icy Hot Smart Relief TENS Therapy. Turn off pain.
27-10 Boise State on Colorado State here in Fort Collins. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Ginny Dell, and Darian Thompson with the fresh dew. Daughter Nova born this week, new dad, and now Darian Thompson. 4th interception of the year, 18th of his career, right after Boise State turnover from Rippon. Thompson gets it right back.
And that ties him for the Mountain West career record with those 18 picks. Pretty impressive career and back-to-back games with an interception. Coaches told us that it's his game film and prep, great instincts.
Rippon 2nd and 10, bobbled. Anderson manages to haul it in. Woo!
You're Colorado State. You got to find a way to be able to come down with that DeAndre Elliott in perfect position. Great coverage. Not terribly great coverage, but good position. Chaz Anderson just more heads up. He's got a knack for coming down with those balls that get tipped tonight.
Former defensive back Rippin. And Jeremy McNichols rolls to the 43. Corey James finally makes the stop.
On Boise State, I dial up my run game. My quarterback's a little iffy right now. His decision making, which was been so good since he's been starting and really nice in the first half, it's been questionable here to start this second one.
Screen, Williams Rhodes blown up as soon as he grabs it. That's Kyle Robinson there on the stop, strong side linebacker.
Kyle Robinson just did a good job of recognizing it, coming downhill, getting outside, defeating the block, getting outside leverage, and comes down with the tackle, setting up a 3rd and short. This is what Boise wanted, was to be in these 3rd and manageables.
Play fake on 3rd and 2. Incomplete. Didn't control it. Jake Rowe, the intended receiver. Robinson there in coverage again.
That was a good decision and a nicely thrown ball that time by Brett Rippin. Just comes over, man-to-man coverage, gets behind the sticks, but just can't hold on to it. Another key 3rd down stop for the Rams. Boise just can't seem to take advantage of the turnovers that their defense is generating for them.
Whale hits it at the 32. Fair catch. Hansley hauls it in. Rams need to score to have a chance at coming back. As our friend Bill Raftery says, if you can defend man-to-man, good things happen. They have for the Broncos.
Especially when you're putting your hat on the football. Now, Boise only got 3 points out of that. But, man, what a way to be able to come down with that football, with that great leverage on the inside. And then finally, Dante Dion doing his thing, reading the eyes of the quarterback. Darian Thompson on that last interception. And, man, talk about a duo in the backfield that are ball hawks. What a pair they are and have been for Boise State.
Tying Eric Weddle's Mountain West career INT record. Last 4 games, that is amazing. Plus 12 turnover margin for the Broncos.
And it makes all the difference in the world. They were -1 against Washington, -1 at BYU, and then +1, +5, +4 last week against Hawaii, and +3 here tonight.
Oden tackled as soon as he touches it by Derek Bowles. Coleman Key, still the Colorado State quarterback. The redshirt freshman has thrown 2 interceptions tonight. 4 completions, 2 interceptions for Coleman Key, as the Rams struggle to get anything going in the passing game.
But what he does do is he has mobility in his legs, and again, the only touchdown they've had, Coleman Key was very integral, making plays and picking up first downs with his legs.
Complete. That's Rashard Higgins, wrestled down as soon as he touches it by Jonathan Moxey. Just the 3rd catch for Higgins. As you see, Nick Stevens, who started the game and has started all 6 games for Colorado State. He's on the sideline.
Coach Bobo talked about getting back to who they are. Well, that's a run team. They like to run, play action. But they're staying in 3rd down and manageable situations. They need some points out of this drive. But I think Coleman Key and his ability to extend plays with his legs gives them the best chance.
3rd and short out of the eye. Oden on the left side has the first down, dragging a defender, Martirano, to the 35.
Really impressed with Nick Callender and Zach Golditch, Jake Bennett, Fred Zerbelis, and that right tackle, Sam Carlson. Those guys are getting a hat on a hat up front and moving the line of scrimmage against one of the better run defenses in the entire country.
Play fake. Coleman Key, a deep shot intended for Higgins. It's knocked away. Dante Dion and Darian Thompson both had a crack at it.
Credit Rashard Higgins for a pass breakup on this, because he turned into a defensive back See him try to take the legs out and does a very good job of Darian Thompson. That's just a heads-up play by the wide receiver. That just saved an interception.
Could have been offensive pass interference.
Could have been, but it wasn't. Equal rights to the ball.
He's just going to have to dump that one incomplete with the pressure coming from Ben Weaver, the weak side linebacker.
Now we've seen this again. When Colorado State throws the ball on first down, it puts them behind the chains. That's another incompletion. The series following that 16-play drive that they had 13 runs and only 3 passes, they went 3 and out because they threw 3 straight passes. Is this going to be another example of them doing that right here on this next play?
Broncos play coverage on 3rd and 10. Coleman Key incomplete. Intended for Vaden. Rams will punt.
Looks like we got our answer. Good stop that time by Boise State. Brought a little bit of pressure. Coleman Key, and his lack of accuracy, is 5 of 19 on the night with a couple interceptions. But Colorado State at some point is going to have to throw to try and get themselves back in the game. They need to try and force a turnover on this next series.
Good to see Dante Dion back out there returning punts after a scary moment for him. He's wrestled down near the 18. Broncos still lead it by 17. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell back at Hughes Stadium, Fort Collins, Colorado, where the Broncos lead it 27-10. Our icy hot player profile is the senior wide receiver Shane Williams-Rhodes from Spring, Texas. Excellent football player, all-around good guy. Nominated for the AFCA Good Works Team, the Lowe's Senior Class Award, the Werfel Trophy. And Shane Williams-Rhodes now has another line on his resume, a touchdown pass.
Now, it wasn't the tightest of spirals, but it was effective and in stride. Spurbick being able to run underneath it for that nice 53-yarder to start the game.
So amazing that Shane Williams-Rhodes actually has a touchdown pass in his senior year before he has a touchdown reception in his senior year. 1st and 10, Ribbon's going to hand to Jeremy McNichols. He takes Kevin Pierre-Louis with him to the 23. Well, Cam the Ram, there was a big moment before tonight's game here at Hughes Stadium, the unveiling of the 25th Cam the Ram. You say, why Cam the Ram? Introduced in 1947 when this school was the Colorado College of Agriculture and Mechanical. Colorado Agriculture and Mechanical.
C-A-M.
Cam the
I get it.
Ram. That's the 25th Cam the Ram introduced prior to tonight's game.
Well, welcome.
Well put. Welcome, young Cam.
Once again, Colorado State's been pretty good on 3rd down. Rippon's kind of cooled off here in this second half. His accuracy hasn't necessarily been there, considering the fact that Colorado State has outrun Boise State. You wonder why the Broncos aren't trying to dial up their run game more than they have here.
Rippon audibles, play clock to 4, to 3. The freshman QB back into the shotgun. They just get it off. Brett Rippon. Deep shot. Downfield it is caught. What a grab by Jeremy McNichols. All day for Rippon to eventually find McNichols.
And the beautiful thing about this ball, Carter, was his location and where he put it. McNichols, one-on-one coverage against Corey James, is able to slightly bend his route at the end. Nichols threw him open. Rippon threw him open on that last one. And another big play by the Colorado State defense allowed.
That's 49 yards on the last 2 plays from Jeremy McNichols. 1 receiving, 1 rushing. He played wide receiver last year as a freshman, now running back as a sophomore. Brings a unique skill set.
Colorado State, their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
Rams will have to take a timeout to regroup. Jeremy McNichols, the sophomore from Long Beach, Santa Margarita High School, played mostly receiver as a freshman, now 13 touchdowns in his sophomore year, the best in the nation, and he shows off amazing skills in the receiving game and the rushing game.
He's been able to hurt people all season long in a variety of ways, but he's just an explosive playmaker, very different running style than Jay Ajayi was last year, a power runner. He's got great vision, really nice hands. They got a one-on-one situation that time against a linebacker. They call him the McWeapon, Carter, because he's so McProductive.
And now you can get that McWeapon all day.
That's right. With grape jelly. It's ice roll.
That's how Coach Nutt takes his.
Does he?
Yeah.
It's a Southern thing, I guess.
Story behind that. McNichols again to the 16. It is all McWeapon. That's 12 more yards for McNichols. Some good blocks at the point of attack. Good double teams on the play side. And there's that vision. Sets it up perfectly. Puts his foot in the ground. Breaks to the right with a big gain. Nearing 200 yards total offense for Jeremy McNichols. As Boise State is yet again in the red zone against Colorado State. Tonight's red zone brought to you by Verizon. 2 trips, don't have a touchdown yet. They've settled for the field goals from Ross, and that continues the trend for Colorado State. They're very, very good. They lead the conference down here. It's kind of a bend but don't break mentality. If you're Boise State, you got to be thinking 7 to try and put this game away. Spurbeck, direct snap, gives it to Shane Williams-Rhodes inside the 10. Another wrinkle in the red zone from the Broncos. And once again, a perimeter run that finds some pay dirt. Third and short coming. One Wildcat. Yeah, it's Kelsey Young who's going to take the Wildcat snap. Young bobbles, keeps it. Young stretching, takes it to the 1. First and goal, Boise State. The graduate transfer from Stanford, Kelsey Young, takes it on the Wildcat. He's a tough physical runner. Really nice job in pass protection at times. But he's a nice change of pace for Jeremy McNichols. About the same size, but a much different running style. Colorado State has a player running late onto the field. Boise State doing what they do best, trade the formation and strength. Young takes it. Met at the goal line and driven back. Trent Matthews leads the way. Tackling Kelsey Young. Trent Matthews, we didn't think that we were going to see him, but he's battling through that hamstring injury. Provides a lot of leadership for this team. Just a nice job of scraping down the line of scrimmage and canceling that gap. You see him even just hobbling off after making that tackle at the 1. 6'3", 210. He's a load in there. Second and goal, ripping at quarterback. McNichols behind him. Watch play action. Toss it to McNichols. Stretching, does he get in? Yes! Touchdown number 14 of the season for Jeremy McNichols. He was popped by Kevin Pierre-Louis, but managed to hang on. And now McNichols is slow getting up after the touchdown. Kevin Pierre-Louis felt that one as well. That was a heck of a collision. Both guys need help from the training staff. And I love this, Carter. His teammates are telling him and calling the trainers over, looking out for him. That is how you know football players are finally starting to understand the significance of head trauma.
Was a touchdown. The ball broke the plane of the goal line.
So the teammates pointing out to the training staff, Kevin Pierre-Louis needs our help. Needs your help.
Just a heck of a collision down there on the goal line. Football is a violent game. Credit both these guys, and that's a clean hit. Didn't lead with his head, he led with his shoulders. But man, you can tell both those guys felt the brunt of that.
Well, McNichols wins the fight at the goal line. A touchdown for the sophomore from Long Beach, his second of the night, 14th of the season. Kevin Pierre-Louis getting the attention on the Colorado State sideline.
The rules changes and the education just showed up by what we saw with the Colorado State Ram teammates looking out for one of their own.
The previous plays under further review, the ruling on the field was that the ball broke the plane of the goal line for a touchdown.
It's under review. Looked to us like it was clearly a touchdown.
It's a great look at when the ball crosses the goal line, but it's hard to see where his knee goes down. Right there you can see his knee go down, but you can't see the location of the football. There, to me, that was the best look, that one before this one. Can hardly see anything there. I think this is going to stand, as it should.
Kevin Marr's going to have a look at it. The replay official, John Hansen, should say. This is John Hansen's all his call. College football, it's the replay official on site who has the sole discretion. That's McNichols walking toward the Boise State locker room after the touchdown run, if the touchdown stands.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So it stands for McNichols' second of the night, 14th overall.
Back-to-back 100-yard rushing games by the sophomore out of Long Beach. He's a heck of a playmaker for this Boise State offense.
Rosser for the PAT. (34-10) Boise State. McNichols into the end zone. Broncos in command. You get pretty buff as a Boise State cheerleader with all the points that the Broncos are putting up. It is 3 straight with 50+. They may be on their way. And when we're done here in Fort Collins, it's on to Utah State versus Fresno State. Rich Walls, Adam Archuleta, and Cassie Gallo will have the call. Adventurous weekend for Cassie in Fresno. So that she went skydiving with the Fresno State skydiving team. We'll be bringing the football in for that one. Fresno State has played in the 2 inaugural Mountain West Conference championship games, but rough go of it so far for Tim DeRuyter's team in 2015.
It may not get any easier tonight with that great Utah State defense. Tell you what, Matt Wells is one of the most underappreciated coaches in the country.
Tyler Rosso will kick it off. Touchback. Colorado State will get it at the 25. Now Boise State, a run of Friday games, including next week at Utah State in Logan Romney Stadium.
It's interesting because these games that are played on unique nights are hard for teams, but the good thing is Boise State has enough cracks at them that they kind of get into a rhythm. Football players typically are creatures of habit, and they like to run on the same schedule. But credit the Broncos for being able to find ways to perform very well when they do it.
Nick Stevens back in at quarterback for Colorado State, completes his first pass of the night to Kevon Cartwright, the tight end. Stevens, the sophomore, who started but only played the first series. Rams trying to get a spark from their starter off the bench.
Well, it's a 3-score game, and what Stevens lacks in arm strength, he, I think, has some ability to be accurate and maybe gives him a chance to be able to throw the football downfield a little bit, because they're going to need to here.
Higgins getting some more treatment on the Ram bench. Nick Stevens, screen. Matthews popped as soon as he grabs it. We check in with Brent Stover.
Carter in Manhattan. First drive of the second half for K-State. Joe Huebner picked off. And it's a 60-yard house call the other way from Derek Kindred. Wildcats still lead, number 2 TCU 35-24. Guys?
Interesting, Brent. Now, that's still third quarter, so opportunity for Boykin and the Frogs to avoid the big upset.
Little Manhattan's not an easy place to play, and Kansas State is one of those teams that's made a living of ruining the dreams of a lot of football teams.
2nd and 9. Stevens tucks it and manages to avoid the tackle from Ben Weaver to set up 3rd down.
And it's a 3rd and medium, which is a very manageable situation. That was a great pickup with his legs there.
Stevens was over on his first drive. 2 completions on this one.
This is a key 3rd down that they need to keep these chains moving, and Rashard Higgins is not on the field.
Stevens 3rd and 4. Time to throw. Delivers complete. 1st down. That's Sammy Long, the sophomore, who's wrestled down out of bounds at the 35. Cameron Miles makes the stop. Gain of 23.
This play started with great protection up front and just a nicely thrown ball to Long. And then Jonathan Moxie overrunning allows for the big 1st down, but really nice job. Boise only brings 4, and that offensive line once again holding up front.
Stevens leading the Rams on this drive to the 35. Izzy Matthews. Chancellor James makes a stop. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was the overhang player in that alley, and just on the snap of the ball came off the edge. Boise's been doing that a lot tonight and having some success on 1st down against the run by bringing pressure off the edge.
2nd and 10. Still no Rashard Higgins. Broncos show pressure. Stevens play action. Sacked. Back at the 44, and it's Tyler Gray who gets home on Nick Stevens.
This time Tyler Gray's to the left of the center and comes, and the left guard just lets him go. Zach Golditch got a little bit confused there. Remember, at the top of the show, we talked about Jake Bennett, the center, having to be able to identify that front that likes to move around. That time they didn't, and it was Zach Golditch that was responsible for that sack because he let somebody come free.
Because they come at you from all angles.
I'm not saying it's easy, but that's your job.
3rd and 17. Broncos pressure again. Sack Stevens again. Back-to-back sacks. This time, Kamale Correa.
Kamale Correa is somebody that's been getting double-teamed a lot this season. Because of his ability to be able to get after the passer, he's just going to turn that corner and bend. Put a lot of pressure on Nick Callender. You get your shoulders turned that quickly as an offensive lineman, you've got no shot, and it's usually an indication that you're playing against somebody that's more quick than you, and that's exactly what happened on that last sack.
Stevens has been sacked 3 times. Coleman Key 0. Hayden Hunt, punt. Shane Williams-Rhodes, fair catch right around the 10. A chance for us to check in with Ginny Dell.
Quick update on Rashard Higgins. The trainers out here were stretching out that left hamstring. He did a few running drills on the sideline. He now has his helmet in his hand and looks to be okay for the game.
Only 3 catches, 42 yards for the Biletnikoff finalist, consensus All-American from a year ago. He's battled an ankle injury. And now you heard Ginny with the report on the other leg as well.
He was an All-American a year ago. Him not being on the field has certainly hurt this Rams offense.
Brett Rippon 1st and 10. Give to Kelsey Young, a graduate transfer from Stanford. Tackled by Pierre Lewis and Watson. Here's Higgins.
Yeah, take a look at him. He just hasn't looked like himself. Struggling to try and get separation that time on Dante Dion on a sluggo route. That time he turned into a DB on an underthrown football. But he's a guy that I think they should have done that more with, taking some deep shots on some 50-50 balls along the sideline to see if he can go up and try and catch it as we end up here in the third quarter.
We go to the fourth, 34-10. CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Tonight's Chick-fil-A fan cam with a lot of pink in the stands here in Fort Collins, Colorado. And some blue and some orange for Boise State. The Bronco fans always travel well. They've enjoyed what they've seen tonight. A 34-10 lead for the Broncos on the Rams. Not even that fantastic hat has helped the Rams much tonight. 34-10, Boise State on Colorado State. A lone touchdown drive, a 16-play drive for Colorado State when they rushed it 12 of the 16 plays. Brett Rippon under center on 2nd and 5. First play of the fourth quarter. Kelsey Young behind him. And Spurbeck in motion. Fling it to the outside on the screen. Complete to Achillian Butler. That is just his second catch, and a fumble results. Colorado State appears to have the takeaway. Injured Ram. It's Kyle Robinson. And it's Robinson who stripped it, who was down on the far sideline.
It's Adiambo, the left tackle there for Boise, who's down as well. Man, there were some collisions on that. It's going to be Boise ball.
It will be Boise State football. That signal just occurred that it's Boise State football. So you got Adiambo down and Kyle Robinson both down on the play. Boy.
Looked like he was hit by his own player that time. Kevin Pierre-Louis looks like he hit Kyle Robinson right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Pierre-Louis actually strips it, and then he and Matthews collide.
Matthews is that physical safety that's done a nice job tonight coming down in run support, and that time collision was unfortunately helmet to helmet and happened to be with his own teammate.
You find out how hard your teammate hits. Now, meanwhile, Adiambo is back on the Boise State sideline. Now Robinson's on the far sideline, so the Ram training staff is now going to walk him along that far sideline. Pierre-Louis not feeling too good either.
No, there was some heck of collisions on that last play.
So Robinson, the sophomore strong side linebacker, walking along that far sideline, headed, it looks like, towards the Colorado State locker room.
Yeah, and he's been a playmaker. Had a nice game last week. 8 tackles and a sack. He's good enough as a strong side linebacker to stay on the field and nickel and go to Mike. It's going to be a key loss for this Rams defense.
Kelsey Young takes it again on 1st and 10. Young tripped up as he gets to the 45, and we check with Jenny Dell.
And just a quick update on running back Jeremy McNichols. He underwent some concussion testing, was brought into the locker room, is now back on the sideline wearing warm-ups, so he's out for the game. I'm working on all these other injuries right now, guys.
Thank you, Jenny. There's a lot of work to be done. Well, McNichols' night is done. 181 yards of total offense and 2 touchdowns. Pretty good night for the sophomore running back out of Long Beach.
Yeah, it is, and that's Steve-O Michael getting penetration again. Boise making a concerted effort to be able to run the football. There's been several times where this Colorado State defensive line has gotten penetration when Boise's tried to run the football. As bad as this score seems, being down 24, there's going to be a lot of positives when they turn this film on if they happen to lose.
Rippon on 2nd and long. Completes to the sideline. Pointed out Steve O'Michael, who made that play the last time, pass incomplete. Steve O'Michael earned his degree in social work in May. Coloradan had a great story about his decision to come back for his senior year to finish his degree. He wanted to stay in Orlando, earn a paycheck this year. His mother insisted he come back for his degree and finish his football career.
Great choice. Mamas know best. Another key 3rd down. Colorado's been pretty impressive. Boise all year long struggled on the road. And a costly mistake, self-inflicted wound again by the Rams. That's twice.
Kevin Marr and his crew discuss.
This time it's going to be a Martravius Foster.
Offside. Defense number 9. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Just can't have that out of a senior. He's tied for 3rd in the Mountain West Conference with sacks. As a defensive lineman, you have to watch the football. That's the only time you move. When it moves, you move. A couple costly mistakes by defensive line that's played pretty well at times tonight.
So 3rd and 7 for the Broncos. Incomplete, intended for Spurbeck. Some physical coverage. That'll draw a flag. Rippon got hit as well.
Steve O'Michael introducing himself. Number 4 to number 4 that time.
Braylon Scott in coverage.
Pass interference. Defense number 18. Ball placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Had him backed into 3rd and long, back-to-back penalties, 1st down Boise State.
And that's just a true freshman trying to make a play on one of the better receivers in this conference. Just has his hands all over him and drives him out of bounds right in front of the official. That's an easy one.
That's an easy one. I think the only thing that would have made it worse if Braylon Scott would have been hit in the back of the head with the football coming that direction. I mean, that's all sorts of penalty. Rippon, play action. He's going to take a deep shot to the end zone for Anderson. Knocked away by DeAndre Elliott.
And I thought he had a Killian Butler underneath who was wide open on this play. But he decides to go up top. And pretty good recovery that time. This ball's a little underthrown. And Anderson has to stop for it. And that little bit of hesitation in the underthrown ball allows DeAndre Elliott the time to be able to recover and disrupt the throw.
3 straight incompletions. That's the first time that's happened tonight. 2nd and 10. That's complete to Jake Rowe out of the backfield for a 1st down. Trey Thomas makes the stop on Jake Rowe. From a heck of a football family. His brother Craig, now defensive lineman in the CFL, played at Michigan. Luke, point guard on the Colgate basketball team. And sister Maddie is going to Pepperdine to play volleyball out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Shane Williams Rhodes pushes his way to the 16.
That play looked like it was there initially, but another good back-to-back play that time by DeAndre Elliott, doing a nice job of setting the edge and forcing the play back inside so that the pursuing defense could show up. Still was a 1st down, but that could have been a touchdown. But DeAndre Elliott, number 13, didn't play it so well.
9th play of this drive for Rippon and the Broncos. It's Kelsey Young. And there's the featured running back because of Jeremy McNichols' goal line collision. Kevin Davis makes another stop for Colorado State. Double-digit tackles. That's 11 for Kevin Davis.
He does a nice job of putting his foot in the ground, getting north and south, and shaking Corey James, number 31, the middle linebacker, out of his cleats.
Kelsey Young, whose younger brother Corey, is also a Bronco running back. First and goal. Rippon will take it himself for the touchdown. It's a rushing touchdown for Brett Rippon. And the Broncos celebrate another touchdown drive on their way to a 4th straight game of 50-plus.
Keep an eye on the defensive end. He comes down. Rippon just keeps a good idea, keeps his eyes on him, and some great blocks at the point of attack. Allow him to use his legs, get inside in the end zone. First rushing touchdown of the season.
End of his Bronco career. Tyler Ross a PAT, 41-10. Brett Rippon has a touchdown pass, 7 of those in his freshman season, and now a rushing touchdown for the freshman from Spokane.
And welcome back to Fort Collins, where Boise State just scored a touchdown on a zone read. The defensive end, Brett Rippon's going to read him coming down the line of scrimmage, trying to go for the dive on the inside zone. It's a perfect pull read, and just some great blocks here at the point of attack, double teaming these guys. These guys are working for their young true freshman quarterback, getting it done. Rippon, not known as a runner, plants his foot in the ground, gets north and south for a really nice touchdown, the very first of his career as a Bronco.
That was part of the scouting report from his Super Bowl MVP uncle, Mark Rippon, when he told Ginny Dell, don't run, don't, just be yourself. You're not a mobile quarterback. Well, Brett's now got a rushing touchdown to show Uncle Mark and the rest of the family.
We also told him to focus on the deep game, and he's got that one down.
Got that one down. Another touchback, a chance for us to look at tonight's going places, brought to you by Toyota. Where's Colorado State going? 3 miles east of here on campus, a stadium that is under construction now. $220 million new stadium, going to replace Hughes Stadium, about the same size, but it's a chance to be on campus in a brand new facility that looks sharp.
It looks beautiful, and I'm a big proponent of this. I think that college football, to be able to involve the student body and have that collegiate feel, needs to be able to play on campus, and I think that's going to be a good move for him here. As beautiful as this setting is that we have, it's a little bit of an older stadium, and it is quite a bit away from campus.
In fact, you go back to Bob Dylan's Rolling Thunder review, memorable concert here at Hughes Stadium in Fort Collins, spring of '76.
Is that why you were making us listen to that on the way home from the production meeting yesterday?
That's exactly right. You and Jenny had no interest. There is an injured Boise State Bronco. It's Robert Ash, the 5th-year senior nose tackle, who's down. Flag as well.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 60, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's the backup left tackle, Trey Moxley. As you see Ash walk off on his own power to the Bronco sideline.
This defensive line for Boise, Coach Harsin told us this may be the best that he's had in quite some time. Certainly some great depth. We see a hit there in the back. It's not a smart play by the backup left tackle. Got to feel frustrated. You understand it, but you just can't do it.
9 penalties now against the Rams. Gaines wrestled down as soon as he touches it by Cameron Hartsfield, a safety from Allen, Texas, as the Broncos now going with mostly 2s.
And Boise State defensively all night, regardless of who's been out there. When Colorado State has tried to get to the edges with that quick pass game, they've been able to plant their feet in the ground, drive on the football, and get the ball carriers down without a gain. Really nice job in that area tonight.
Nick Stevens to Oden out of the backfield again. We came into this night, Aaron, talking about, all right, Boise State's number 25. They're ranked, 1 loss, that wild one at BYU. But how good in evaluating this Boise State team in 2015?
Well, they're a good team, and they seem to be getting better each week. Even though it's a 31-point ball game, there's going to be a lot that Brian Harsin is going to go back and look on that film and want these guys to be able to correct. There was too much seepage at times when they were trying to run the football, some early pressure. Their young true freshman quarterback at some point is going to be a true freshman. We've seen him put the ball into the hands of the opposing team so far, and they just need to keep working on getting better, because you look at the group of 5 conferences, I think Boise State is the cream of the crop. Toledo's playing extremely well. Memphis got a great quarterback. Houston, a ton of points. Temple with that defense. Navy held their own today against Notre Dame. That American Conference has been outstanding so far in this year.
Well, it closed with the Fiesta Bowl win for Boise State last year, but it was a team that was 3-2 early on after a road loss at Air Force, so they had to rally to Boise State. Williams Rhodes brings it back across the 42. Can Harsin and the Broncos rack up 50 again? 41-10, Boise State on Colorado State. Our terrific production crew came up with 3 key questions before this game. And Aaron, are we ready to answer our 3 key questions?
I think these questions were answered pretty early tonight. Rashard Higgins, only 3 catches, 42 yards, and that's secondary for Boise State. 2 interceptions, and have held Colorado State to 144 pass yards. And how long will the Broncos shutout streak last? Well, we certainly found out that answer early. And last but not least, we know that this team gets it done.
Brett Rippon, another solid night at quarterback for Boise State, but he is going to give way now to Thomas Stewart. The sophomore will take over in a 41-10 game. So Stewart hands off. That's Devin Demas, the junior running back from Houston, across midfield. And Boise State playing without Jeremy McNichols, who left the game after his 2nd touchdown run. And now Rippon hands it over to Thomas Stewart, the sophomore from Baltimore.
This is a good opportunity to get some quality reps against a good defense, to be able to create some depth. Remember, quarterback injuries have plagued this team early on. They're lucky that they had such production out of Brett Rippon. So it's good that Stewart can come in here and get some live reps and get some more quality experience, because who knows, at the rate this is going for this year, this Boise team, you don't want to have to open up another can of quarterbacks, but if you do, you've got a guy that's taking some live reps. But man, what an early start to the season Rippon's had. He's a tremendous quarterback, I think, with a huge upside.
Stewart turns and hands to Demas. Thomas Stewart, the sophomore quarterback in the game now for Boise State. He's from Baltimore, Calvert Hall, and I really like this line on his resume. Thomas Stewart was the MVP of the Crab Bowl. That's the Maryland High School All-Star game.
Making me hungry.
Thought you would like that wrinkle. 2nd and 8. Thomas Stewart will wrestle down back at the 50. This isn't the Crab Bowl.
No, it's not. Once again, a lost yardage play at the line of scrimmage, thanks to some penetration by that Rams front. This is a 3rd and long situation. Stewart needs to be able to protect this football. Remember, it's not there, throw it away, because the punt is always a positive play.
Stewart 3rd and long. Drops it. That was not a trick play where the quarterback for Boise State pretends to fumble it. Stewart just dropped it.
Yeah, you worry about that with a guy getting some live reps. There was some pressure. He had to break the pocket. He had his eyes downfield, but he just lost track of the football and got very lucky there to jump back on it.
Sean Whale, who's had a solid night in the punt game for Boise State, and trying to tighten this area up after a terrible start to the year when they had a block and a punt return for a touchdown in the Washington game. Touchback here for Sean Whale. Boise State in command. Number 25, Boise State, 4-1 on the year. About to go 5-1. Our Bud Light up for whatever moment of the game. Shane Williams-Rhodes to Thomas Spurbag. And Shane Williams-Rhodes has his first career passing touchdown. 53 yards to Spurbag in the first.
This was the first Boise State touchdown, a 53-yarder to Thomas Spurbag, taking advantage of some pretty nosy safety play that time by the Colorado State Rams. And see that big smile. He's got to be feeling pretty good. Got 7 touches tonight, too. 52 yards, not a bad showing for the senior.
Nick Stevens still in at quarterback for Colorado State. Comes back to Jordan Vaden, who is popped as soon as he grabs it by Raymond Ford, the junior from LA via Riverside Community College.
Heck of a job by Ford that time to be able to play that. Boise State has their backups now in defense as well. That quality depth will show up big for them down the stretch.
Most of the Broncos starters resting now. Complete on the outside, Xavier Williams. We check with Ginny Dell.
An update on sophomore linebacker Kyle Robinson. Remember, this happened at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He was the player that was helped down the Boise sideline by trainers. They took off his shoulder pads as they helped him down. He looked to be in severe pain, and he was grabbing for that left shoulder. He just came out of the locker room with a sling and ice on his left shoulder. I'm told he's questionable, but from my perspective, I don't think he's going back in the game, guys.
No, it's a great observation. With the ice pack on the shoulder. This is the play he was hurt on.
Heck of a collision there.
With his teammate, Kevin Pierre-Louis. Robinson on the sideline. The Rams banged up. Trailing 41-10. Han punts it at the 20. Fair catch at the 32-yard line. Boise State hoping to make it 5 straight. 50.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Looks like he belongs more in Spamalot than at Hughes Stadium here in Fort Collins. Thomas Stewart quarterbacking the Boise State Broncos. It's Corey Young, the freshman younger brother of Kelsey Young, who takes the handoff on first down. So one of the reasons why Kelsey came to play here at Boise State was to play alongside his brother Corey. They both played at Norco, California High School. Played for Todd Gerhardt, Toby's dad.
What bloodlines those guys have. Toby Gerhardt was such a physical runner. That's been the element that the Stanford team has been missing. But Ed McCaffrey's son's been doing a nice job. They've been running the football extremely well.
It's Corey Young again. Corey didn't think his knee hit, but line judge says it did back at the 40. So taking a look at our AP top 10, there's still a lot of action to be determined late tonight, including Michigan State and TCU.
Yeah, and Kansas State's at the 1-yard line about to put it in to increase their lead. Baylor won easily. Michigan State, with all those injuries, struggling to find ways to win, but to their credit, they keep doing it. This is going to be one of those crazy years where whoever ends up in the playoff will likely have 1, if not 2 losses. I think the over-under on total losses in the playoff teams is at least 4 this year.
Wow.
There might be a 2-loss team in there. Everybody has some sort of weakness that they're having to overcome, and it's going to be about who can manage those weaknesses, continue to get better throughout the season, and win the head-to-head matchups when they need to.
Corey Young again across midfield. Young getting some solid reps here. Well, Mike Bobo's former team, the Georgia Bulldogs, lose 38-31 to Tennessee, and Nick Chubb with a bad injury.
Well, and credit Tennessee. The big knock on them was being able to blow leads. This time it was Georgia had a 24-3 lead in that ball game that they eventually lost.
So Florida now, Jim McElwain's team, the clear favorite in the East?
I thought they were as soon as that Nick Chubb injury happened that was going to be the case. Those guys seem unflappable.
High snap. Stewart corrals it and just runs out of bounds. Shane Williams-Rhodes there to help him out, as is Jeremy McNichols.
Ball handling and security with this backup has been an issue there for Stewart. He's got to find a way to get that ball down. His credit, he's been falling on it and coming up with it.
Mason Hampton, the backup center, now in there for Boise State as well.
And that's usually what happens when you get new quarterbacks, new guys snapping them the ball. They're fresh reps. You can have some of those exchange issues, and that's why you get these reps to kind of knock some of that rust off. Coaches don't care, though. They want and expect the same production.
Ryan Wolpen takes the handoff on 3rd and 6 and gets 5. Boise State, this was the 16th offensive possession by Boise State tonight.
It's incredible when you look at what Boise State's been able to do with the football. They just get so many opportunities. Offensively, they've struggled on 3rd down, but they've picked up such big plays through chunk yardage. They're trying to pick up this yard. Nice this game. They get it.
Let's take a look at the remaining schedule for Boise State. Next Friday night, we'll be there in Logan, Utah for the Broncos and the Utah State Aggies. Who challenges Boise State the rest of the way?
I think Utah State on the road has an ability to be able to test this Boise State team offensively. They are a stout defensive unit. They've had some injuries on offense, but the backup quarterbacks come in and done a pretty nice job. But other than that, man, it's hard to say. I think really Boise State's toughest opponent's going to be themselves in cleaning up miscues. If they can just handle their business and execute, they should be fine down the stretch.
Well put. Boise State's biggest opponent is themselves. And meanwhile, for the Rams, who are going to fall to 2-4, 0-2 in the Mountain West. The win over UTSA. I was on the road in San Antonio. The win over Savannah State. That's it. Air Force is up next.
And it's going to turnovers. Turnovers is the story of this team and giving up big plays on defense. Unless they clean that up, they're going to really struggle down the stretch. Because there's some football teams there that somebody in the Mountain Division down the stretch is going to continue to get better and hopefully emerge. And you would think that this Colorado State team would be one of them. They have the makings of a pretty decent team. Their defense at times has showed up. Carter, we talked about that turnover margin. You just can't win ball games when you give it to the other team.
Minus 11 now on the year. So coming in, they were 121st. I believe it's 127 now in the rankings. So minus 11, and Colorado State may be last in the nation in turnover margin after this one. 3rd and 3. Stewart gives to Wolpen again. Flag is down. 9 penalties in the game against Colorado State as well.
$12 a week ago.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense number 52, 15-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Tursic, the backup guard. Boise State nearing 600 yards of total offense tonight. May not get to that 50-point barrier that they've made the last 3 games, Boise State, but it's only because they pulled up the reins on the Rams here in the 4th. Wolpen finally wrestled down. I mean, Josh Watson makes the tackle. And quite obviously, this one is all Boise State. May have to snap it. You see the difference between the game clock and the play clock for fourth down. But Boise State is going to go to 5-0 all time against Colorado State. Night that began with the big play scoring wise, 53 yards. Shane Williams-Rhodes to Thomas Spurbeck to make it 7-0.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, fourth down. Please put 1 second on the game clock, please.
Semantics at this point, obviously. And the Bronco fans, who may outnumber the Ram fans at Hughes Stadium right now, will get to celebrate. 41-10 win for Boise State over Colorado State. Brian Harson's Broncos go to 5-1 this year, 5-0 all time versus Colorado State, and they do it in convincing fashion. We will have more from Fort Collins, where the Broncos win it 41-10.